the Metropolitan Police have confirmed they've raided 2 addresses in Newcastle, including pizza takeaway shop, in the search for the Clapham chemical attack suspect, Abdul Ezedi.
Police cars and vans were seen outside the Best Bite takeaway on Forest Hall Road, where Ezedi previously worked in the early hours of Thursday morning, but no arrests were made. They've also released new CCTV and last known sightings of Abdul Ezedi. Let's speak to Sue Sim, former Chief Constable of Northumbria Police, who led the manhunt for Raoul Moat in 2010, and we're also joined by survivalist Ray Mears, who worked with Sue and the Northumbria Police in 2010 to track down Moat. Good morning to both of you. Sue, I want to start with you. In terms of how he has managed to disappear, the last known whereabouts of Abdul Ezedi, 11:30 p.m. on the night of the attack, 4 hours after it in central London. Since then, 9 days on, no kind of sightings. Many people have asked, in a city like London, how can somebody just disappear?
Well, I'm sure Ray will be able to explain that very well to you, but in actual fact, a city is the easiest place to disappear. People are always busy, they're heading out, they're heading home, they're rushing. If he's walking with his head down, if he has any sort of hoodie, any sort of hat, it's very easy to remain anonymous in a city. When we actually were searching for Moat, he'd come up to the beautiful Northumberland countryside near Rothbury, and it's much more difficult to hide from local people, whereas the city is full of strangers all bustling around.
And Ray, just bringing you in here, just on that particular point, communities in the countryside tend to know each other very well. They also can recognise when someone isn't from that area or if there is suspicious behaviour. Would you echo those sentiments in terms of a city and it being easier to hide? I
think Sue hit the nail on the head. If you want to hide, the best place to hide is amongst a lot of other people. And this is an individual who, if I put my tracker's brain on and try to understand him, firstly, he's an illegal immigrant, so he's learned to travel covertly across borders and to do so in a daring way. So he's already got some ability. And we know that the communities of immigrants within Britain take care of themselves. So there's probably a willing support network to shelter him and give him some sort of support. So all of that's stacked up against the police, but it's just a matter of time. And the police, Sue did a super job in Northumberland. That's the first time I've seen her since. And the police will get him. It's just a matter of time. And he'll make a mistake, somebody will spot him, and it's for the rest of us to keep our eyes open and spot him.
Sue, Ray talked there about kind of communities who might give him shelter in some ways. That's certainly one of the theories being explored by the police at the moment, isn't it? That there are those that are aiding and abetting him. Another theory that actually he might already have died. He might have gone into the River Thames.
Well, those are the two theories at the moment. One, that his injuries, because he did look as though he had significant facial injuries, have caused him to die. But the second, and probably the more realistic at this stage, is that out of misguided loyalty, somebody is actually keeping him safe, keeping him from the police. And I want to tell those people that they are committing an offence. The people who assisted Raoul Moat are currently serving 20 years and 40-year prison sentences. So you are committing an offence if you are protecting Ezedi. What you must do is make sure that he hands himself into the police immediately. And if he won't, then you call the police.
And of course, there is a bounty on this, £20,000, I think, has been offered by the police. Just in terms of this raid in Newcastle, because he was last seen in London, repeated sightings in London, which the police have then released details of. But what sort of index of suspicion do you have to then launch these raids? I think they took place quite late at night, 11 o'clock at night.
Well, they would have had to had a warrant, so they would have had to have been able to convince a magistrate that, or a judge, that They believed that there was somebody in particular, as they apparently launched armed raids, that there was somebody present who was armed or otherwise so dangerous, and particularly with the alkaline substances that he'd used, he would be considered otherwise so dangerous. So they probably had information to say that either he or an associate was present at the premises. You're not able to get a warrant to search for absolutely no reason.